So that was study number 19 from Fernando Sor's Op.60, and you probably already have the sheet music somewhere, but if you don't, I do have an edition of all 25 studies in the Opus, so you can check out my book, and there's a link for that in the description. So compared to some of the previous studies, there's not that much to discuss here, partly because there's just such a clear melody. So whenever you have a really clear melody, you can practice it on its own, of course, which is just the upper line in dotted quarters there. All the notes that surround that can be pretty suppressed. I mean, your bass notes can come out quite a bit because they're so far away from the melody that there'll be a balance and separation there. But any of the accompaniment notes afterwards just really suppress them. So these can come out, but then soft, 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 soft. If you played them really loud, it'd get pretty chunky, like, you know, and then you start feeling like every beat of 6/8. Whereas we really just want to feel like 1, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, strong, weak, and we just want to hear that melody, the simplicity of that melody. And you can just really relax at the ends of those phrases just to kind of give it a good sense of phrasing, and so that we're not just like powering through the whole time. Starting at the second ending of bar 9. All pretty straightforward there. You just need a little bit of clarity in that little ornament there. There's a little bit of like shifting around, so there is an opportunity for some string noise, but it's all very small shifts, and it's all very much contained to that area of the guitar. So starting at bar 12, the texture does change a little bit, and through this section you're going to have a lot of closed Ds and open Ds, and that's because of the nature of this melody. Now, Sor doesn't necessarily write a dotted quarter note on this F, so you could go, but it would really contrast too much with the times when the two strings can ring out and you have the bass note. So I would go between closed Ds and open Ds, and so you end up with a hand position like this. And you know, if you're more on the beginner side, just make sure you're swinging this knuckle around so that finger can be curved on its fingertip. If my knuckle's even slightly misaligned, I can barely reach that note. Now I can't reach that note, but just bring this in and it's no problem. So just make sure your position and your hand is nicely aligned. So you're just sustaining that upper line. And remember, it's a melody still. So you're still really focused on the dotted quarter. You have to quickly switch back there. You're back to the beginning for the DC. About those high notes, like depending on what tempo you take, it can actually be pretty tight at around 24 to be, you know, shifting about. So just make sure that when you play that upper note, I tried to do this in the performance, I'm not sure how well it came off, but you know, make sure you spend as long on that as you can within the context of the beat. Don't shortchange that note. If you just hold those notes a little bit longer and get a little bit more sustain out of it, it won't sound like you're clipping it when you shift back down. So just really melody-based piece. Enjoy that and try to suppress those other accompanimental notes.